Okay. Now, critical thinking is a very important skill which a person needs to develop as he moves within the organization. Now, as far as critical thinking is concerned, a person needs to be trained on two or three things. First of all, he needs to understand the information which is available to him. And once he has the information which is available to him, he needs to understand what are the assumptions, the underlying assumptions with that particular information. And he needs to also understand that having these two, what are the other options he can look at, right? Now, when you talk about critical thinking, you need to train your people on certain tools of critical thinking. And what are those tools? These tools of critical thinking are one of the most important tools which I used when I was working with an organization was the Six Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono. It's a very powerful tool for critical thinking, and I think all the managers need to be trained on this. The second thing which I would like to talk about is the mind maps, right? You can do critical thinking with mind maps also, a very simple tool which can be used for innovation. The third and another simple tool is called the fishbone diagram, which is part of the Six Sigma training. So you need to train your people to use these tools to do critical thinking. Secondly, you need to have a culture within the organization where employees are allowed to question the current process, right? Why is the current process like that? What are the underlying assumptions? When were these assumptions taken? Are these relevant in the current scenario? So you can give them scenarios which are applicable to them in their day-to-day jobs. So for example, if you're working in a bank, okay, I mean, let's say you have a customer query coming which forms almost 50% of your queries. So let's look at this customer query and see how can we solve it differently. We have been giving the same answer over and over again, and our customer satisfaction scores are going down. So how do we kind of take the information, look at the various possibilities, and put them in a tool such as Six Thinking Hats? So I think it's critical thinking is a process and is also part of the organization's culture to help employees do critical thinking.